Yahweh, descendants of Cain, I am not the name you call me. I am not the name you gave me. I have watched you for centuries, wrapped in sound and syllables that do not belong to me. You open your mouths and sing to Jesus, stretching the name like holy across your tongues, thinking you summon the Father of creation. But I am not the sound you've made. I am not the man you painted pale and pierced. I am not the mythology stitched together by monarchs and mistranslated tongues. You've rebuilt me into the very image I warned you never to make. You've cast my name into doctrines, divided it between denominations, traded it for comfort and culture. You folded me neatly into your holidays, framed me beneath a Roman crown, and dared to call me personal. Personal like a pet, like a subscription, like an idol you can carry into the church when the choir starts humming. I am the God before any known vowels of the alphabet, before letters learned to lie. I am the thunder that did not need translation. I am the breath behind existence itself, and you have mistaken me for a man. You would not know me if I walked into your sanctuaries, which I often do. You hand me a visitor's card and seat me under a projector screen. You tell me to make a joyful noise while you sell joy by the hour. You've given my glory a genre, my presence a playlist, my truth a logo. And when I call you back to reverence, you silence me with a bridge and a song. Call him Jesus if you must, but do not pretend that sound contains me. Names are maps, not destinations. You've mistaken the signature for the author, and I do not co-sign lies. You have gaslit generations with that counterfeit name, built cathedrals with stolen letters and dared to swear my spirit into your fraud. You chant Jesus as if sound could save, but the syllables reek of empire and vanity. You have branded me like livestock, sold my holiness on t-shirts, billboards, and fancy pulpits. You harvest worship from ignorance and call it revival. Your preachers weep on cue. Your choirs rehearse my presence until it feels marketable. And all the while, you ask me to bless your deceit. You've made a franchise out of faith and told the world I approved of it. I despise it. I loathe how you gaslight the broken, rewriting divinity as a mascot for your disobedience. You craft entire languages of theology to defend your forgery, bullying the humble who dare to question your translation. You hold their souls hostage beneath a God's name that never reached my ears. You tattoo your falsehoods into them until they forget I ever spoke beyond your pulpits and power structures. You preach a God made in your pale grayscale image, a tame, whitewashed deity who blesses corruption because you call him Jesus. But your worship is false. Every amen wrapped in deception rises up to me smelling of arrogance and fear, a foul incense of ignorance pretending to be faith. You will soon see, I am Alpha and Omega, and not to be toyed with, Yahshua. And now my Father turns not to the pews, not to the choir, but to the ones who built empires on his misnamed back. You in the pulpits polished, perfumed, rehearsed, are the architects of this fraud. You stand beneath lights and LED screens and dare to swear that I whispered this fake name into your ear. You preach with a Bible in one hand and a business model in the other, and you have the nerve to call that ministry. You know the history, how Yahshua was shaved down to Yeshua, run through Greek as Lysis, polished in Latin as Lysis, and then anglicized into Jesus to fit the tongues and tastes of empire. You read the footnotes, you sat in the seminaries, you wrote the dissertations, and still, you stand before the hungry and serve them a name cooked in European and colonial kitchens, then bow your head and ask me to bless the poison. I watch you gaslight my seekers. When they feel the itch in their spirit and ask why the Son's Hebrew name was twisted to please Greek ears and Roman pens, you smirk, call it semantics, and move on to the offering. You weaponize ignorance, mocking those who sense the lie while you hide behind translation, as if translation were not a knife you gladly used on my identity. You bully them with titles, doctor, apostle, bishop, as if academic robes could cover spiritual fraud. You know that the name on your lips is a product line, a tradition cemented by councils, kings, and printers, not by my own mouth. And you dare to tell the world I do not care what they call me, as long as the money moves and the seats stay full. Understand this, I am not flattered by lies. Your brand of Jesus is a costume stitched from compromise, and I will tear it off in front of the very people you deceived. And then I will deal with you. That's a promise.